Hi there, this is Jerry Sn3 Wilson. The S, for those that don't quite know what Sn3 means, it means that I do S-scale model trains, and S-scale is somewhere between Lionel and HO. And the 3 means that I do narrow gauge, which is very, rails are narrower than they are with the trains that we see today. They're closer together. And in this case, the Gilpin Gold Tram has 2-foot gauge. So in scale, my wheels are about 2 scale feet apart on the rails. And so anyway, that's what Sn3 means. If we come around here and see, the wind is blowing through my trees right here a little bit, but we'll try not to let the wind blow my model over. In the meantime, this is a model of a mine that I've been working on, and this is a mock-up. So this is the Lucky 7 mine, not sure who makes it. The boiler is from Weissman, that's been shortened about 1 inch because I just don't need that much mass up here for this little bitty mine. And the steam engine that pulls the ore car up and down, it was a little bit too massive, so what I did was make the drum a little bit smaller so it didn't look quite so big. But that is that part. The reason I chose a Lucky 7 was because when you walk into the room, I needed something in front of my mountain to draw attention other than the Avatar big bird there, which is actually in pretty good scale. Anyway, so when you walk into the room, there's a mine shaft right here, and hopefully there'll be a mine car running up and down on this, and the head frame. And in this particular mine, it follows the angle down into the ground, which is evidently where it's supposed to be to chase the gold. In my case, it's probably blue foam. And normally the mines go straight down this way. But this one, since I needed it to be a little more scenic, boy, those trees are really getting after it. Well, at any rate, in theory, the ore car comes up here, dumps into this thing, which I've always been curious as to how that worked, and it fills up this bin. The Gilpin Gold Tram ore cars here, which are basically 2 foot, it's a little narrower than 3 foot in the gauge, would dump the ore into here. And this is the Lucky 7 mine, and it is basically stock except for 2 things. One is the ore gate that goes up and down. It's very, very nice little mechanism there that I swiped off of the a mine up in Central City. And up here we have the wheel that will turn, and I've put that on a lathe and put a groove in it so that we could actually get the string to tighten. And on the Lucky 7 mine, this particular wheel is mounted down in here, but it's too low for what I need, because I need it to actually drag this wheel up. So without further ado, this string that I'm going to pull now is just a mock-up, this whole thing. And this whole wall in here will be stacked stone, cast plaster, all painted and looking really cool. Very much like what the cast stone is underneath this. Before we get started on that though, you got the ore cars going in there, and then the coal car coming in here, and even the water car. Coal car will come in here and fill up a coal bin that's by the boiler, and then the water will of course feed the boiler when it's needed. So at any rate, I'm going to pull on my string. You can pull on your string, and when I pull on it, see the head frame wheel moves, and if we watch this very carefully, now this is a mock-up, so the white inside is not all, you know, going to be exactly what we need it to be. Now if I'm very careful pulling my string and I try to get that wheel down there to turn, it doesn't. This one does. Goes in there and then it dumps and then it comes back down. Now this mechanism right here is very fragile as far as getting it to work right. That time we did pretty good there. Now what happens here, and what I was really curious about, is how does this thing really do this in real life? Bring the ore up, and if you see, look at the ore car itself, the ore bucket, the front axles, the front wheels don't have any long axles sticking out, and the rear wheels have a big axle sticking out. The ore car comes up, runs on the rails, goes between some rails, and then the axle hooks on those that are out there, and then as it dumps into the ore bin, and then they, if I can get it to come back down, and then it disappears back into the hole, and the miners fill it up again, comes back up, dumps. Let's go. Ooh. This thing, it comes off pretty easy. So it's gonna, my goal here is to animate this thing, so all I've got to do is push a button and it will run up, dump, run it back down, come back up, dump, and so forth. So that's, we'll just see how this mock-up works out for me, and that's all I have on this. This is an S scale mine that's going to be animated, hopefully. See you next time.